Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another reaction episode of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. This is her life, my name is Matt, hello. So, I just want to let it be known that this is a very annoying recording session because I sat down to record, and as I did, it just started raining, so that's annoying. It's just a very light rain right now, but if it becomes a heavier rain, it's gonna really affect the audio quality of the recording, so that's unlucky, but I have to do it. So, hi, Buffy time! We're here for Buffy today. Last time on Buffy, we got really a two-parter premiere to season 6. I watched it across 2 episodes, but it apparently aired as a one singular thing, and apparently I missed like a couple scenes that were present in the original premiere airing of it. So that's unlucky, but it's okay. Mostly what actually happened is that Willow became a necromancer and she brought Buffy back to life, and it looked like we failed, but then it turns out that we actually succeeded. Buffy came back to life inside of her own coffin. She had to punch her way out of it, and then she was very out of it. She was very confused. Everything looked blurry and kind of in a haze. She wandered across town and she saw herself be ripped apart to pieces in the form of the Buffy bot. She saved her friends, but then she ran away from them. She wasn't able to even speak to them. It looked like she had trouble recognizing them just at all. And then she went to the tower where she had died in the season prior. It's funny because I read a comment on the Buffy cast that was like, shut the fuck up about the tower already. And then I'm like starting season 6 and it's like a very important place once more, and it's like, come on man, like I'm sorry, it's not like partially it's my fault to just keep repeating that, but also the show keeps shoving it in my face, so I'm sorry. She went there, and Dawn also went there in hopes to find Buffy after what the Buffy bot said, and they found each other, and Dawn was able to talk Buffy out of possibly jumping. Unclear what Buffy was doing there, and I don't even know if she knew herself. She was just wondering, because the state of mind that Buffy seems to be in right now is very confusing. I could throw some ideas, but I'm not exactly sure on any of them, so it's just kind of pointless. I'm just going to watch this next episode and we'll see what is happening with her. Like, it could be something like when Angel went to hell and then came back like a couple episodes later, and he was still like a little out of it because he had been in hell. The same happened with Darla, we saw briefly in Angel. So it could be something like that, but I think it's something different. I think it's actually different because I don't think Buffy went to hell. Maybe she did, but like a theory that Willow threw around that I kind of liked, which is like her soul was like trapped somewhere or something. And that is something that I actually did mention because it's something that I noted, and it's that when she jumped into like the portal thing, like her body just fell, right? It just like fell on the ground. So what happened to her soul? And we know that's also real in this universe. So like that is the question. And I don't exactly know what happened there. So maybe she was trapped between dimensions, something like that. And yeah, I don't know. Like all of this like weird mystical metaphysical shit, like it's something where you have to be like, I don't know, man. Like it could be anything. We're just gonna hear her account of it, maybe, or how she feels, and that is what matters really. The specifics here is not really that big of a deal. Also, Giles left. Oh yeah, I had a message from my editor that they wanted to let you guys know. Let me pull it up here. Tell that the Buffy's editor is sorry for the delay. He's been busy with some personal matters and also crying over Giles leaving the show. That is a message from my editor. Yeah, because like Giles was their favorite character, like for sure. So it's so funny that they started watching the show in the middle of season 5, like when it gets really heavy, and they go like, man, the show is heavy, but like I really like this guy Giles. He's so cool. And then we start season 6 and it's like, all right, I'm gonna go, and it's like, okay, that's unlucky. That's really unlucky. But who knows? Maybe we'll see Giles soon, you know, soon-ish. Yeah, I don't know, maybe he'll show up in a couple episodes. He'll be just in a different school in London or something. Patreon! Check out the Patreon, link in the description below, pop up on the screen. You can support the channel and watch the next 2 episode reactions already over there. We should be all the way to episode 5, I think, of season 6. So yeah, that, as well as full-length reactions and Angel watch-alongs. I'm also watching Angel season 3. Yeah, let's begin. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, season 6, episode 3. Let's go.
Previously.
Osiris, let her cross over.
You're alive. You're home.
Okay.
She's at home. She has to be.
Same night. We haven't moved on past this one night.
Sure.
Hey, I've done a lot of fleeing on these mean streets. I know all the shortcuts. My senses are primed for danger. Nothing is gonna happen.
Oh my god, we're still dealing with these fuckers. Or maybe they're fleeing town.
Okay.
They didn't like attack or anything.
At least the demons almost hit you on their way out of town.
Yeah, okay, they're fleeing town.
It was Buffy, right?
I think we screwed it up. She's broken.
No, she's just
It could
disoriented,
be either.
tormented in some hell dimension.
Maybe, but I don't.
It's like we don't even know how much time has passed there for her.
There's a lot of unknowns. We can't assume anything.
Home. See? We're all okay now.
I shouldn't look just in case.
It's different.
Willow and Tara live here now. We didn't do much. We moved some of the chairs. This is the same. We eat at the other end.
She's just kind of going.
There you are. Knew you were under that dirt somewhere.
She's like showing no emotion whatsoever.
Ow. Here, I'll do the shirt, and then we'll do your hands. See how nice you look?
This is so interesting.
Mom's room. I know, it's really different now.
Willow and Tara.
It seemed to make the most sense. No one was using it, and it's the biggest. Buffy, you wanna, stop?
Uh-huh.
We can sit down and talk.
What else is different?
Giles, he left today. Because you were...
Mm-hmm.
He'll come right back. I'll call him.
What will you say to him?
What was that? It's okay.
Dawn!
It's fine.
Dawn!
Yeah,
You
okay.
there?
I'm here.
This is gonna be weird. Don't freak out.
Thank God. You scared me half to death. I could kill you.
Spike, look.
Mm-hmm.
Spike, are you okay?
What did you do?
Nothing.
Not this time.
Her hands.
I don't know how they got like that.
I do.
Mm-hmm. You have experience with this.
Coffin, that's how.
Yeah. That's what I had to do.
I've done it myself.
This is weird.
We'll take care of you. Get some stuff. Curochrome bandages.
How long was I gone?
Half a year, I think.
47 days yesterday.
Of course he was counting the days.
How long was it for you? Where you were?
That's a good question.
Longer.
Okay. That's...
She's here.
Buffy, are you okay?
You knew she was back? How did you know?
Are you in pain?
remember?
What do you know about what happened?
Hey, back off. You did this.
I'm okay. You brought me back.
What was it like?
I can't.
It's okay. You don't talk about this, Buff. Hey, do you want something? Pizza. I'll get you pizza.
Yeah, something to eat? She doesn't want pizza. I just meant...
Guys,
Yeah, slow down for a second.
Right, Dawn's right. We should just be quiet and let Buffy tell us what she needs.
I don't know, I just came back to
I
life.
think I just want to go to sleep.
Right, long day. We got you out. You really did it.
Tired.
well, yeah. I mean, jet lag from hell has got to be, jet lag from hell.
My room is still.
Yes, it's your room.
You know, there was a robot there for a while, but...
She's fine. She used to go to bed all the time.
Everyone is worried now about what would we do, which is like... That was the initial concern.
wrong.
Yeah. That longer is really... I'm thinking about that.
Spike?
Does he know?
You didn't tell me. You brought her back, and you didn't tell me.
Well, now you know.
I figured it out. Willow knew there was a chance that she'd come back wrong. So wrong that she would have to get rid of what came back. And I wouldn't let her. Any part of that was Buffy. I wouldn't let her. And that's why she shut me out.
What are you talking about? Don't tell me you're not happy. Look me in the eyes and tell me when you saw Buffy alive, that wasn't the happiest moment of your entire existence.
No response.
It's the thing about magic. There's always consequences. Always.
Hey.
Did you get through to London?
Yeah, he's gonna head back.
Okay. Interesting.
How did he take it?
Glad, but kind of weirded out, which I get.
Yeah.
Lots of dear lords.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I actually heard him clean his glasses.
Are you worried?
Worried? Tara, it worked fine. It's all good.
This is me.
You can be honest.
If you're worried, you can be worried.
Well, hey, what happened? That's gotta change you. When Angel came back,
Mm-hmm.
Buffy said he was wild, like an animal.
Buffy isn't like that.
She's kind of noisy up here tonight, you know?
Is this better?
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think we were all just assumed crash positions. It's like we were expecting it to screw up. We weren't prepared for it to actually go right.
Okay. So it's just the paranoia of it. We're all overreacting.
If things did go right, wouldn't you think she'd be happier?
I mean,
Wouldn't you think she'd be so happy that we brought her out?
Sure she is.
I'm not sure about that. Even if it was the same as the Angel situation. Angel, it took him like, I don't know, a couple months to get back to normal.
I'm sure it's okay.
Can she even sleep? She's just kind of sitting here, looking at things. That longer was chilling. I'm still thinking about it. Let's say she spent 1,000 years in like whatever limbo hell thing, even if it wasn't. Just like imagine, like, I'm thinking of like a Stephen King short story. Just being, okay, seeing death everywhere. Okay.
Buffy? What did you do? Do you know what you did? Your hands smell of death. Did you cut the throat? Did you pat its head? The blood dried on your hands, didn't it? You were stained. I know what you did.
The glass. There's no glass.
Okay, that's weirder than I thought. That's much weirder than I thought. I don't know what that was.
Okay, what in the frilly heck is going on?
Maybe we dreamed it.
Share dreaming? Can we do that?
No, different brains.
Okay, no. Maybe we're Slayers, we could share a dream, but...
What was it talking about? Did you understand it?
Oh, she didn't!
I understood the words, but no.
There's something in the house.
So, are we dealing with death now? The concept of death being like, what the fuck did you guys do?
Xander, are you up? I can't sleep. Xander, are you awake? Xander? Xander?
Do it.
That ought to do it.
Hello?
Xander, it's me, Willow. We were just attacked.
Attacked? A vampire?
No, it was Buffy, or something that looked like her. There's something in the house.
In the house? All right, Willow, you need to get out of there. Just get everyone out.
Okay,
Don't make a big deal.
sure.
Anya! Anya!
Fucking whatever. That was like a very horror movie moment.
Very bad. Bad.
He's all traumatized. Well, whatever it is, it's not the traditional haunting.
I bet it's a hitchhiker.
The fact that we're all talking about this without Buffy being here.
Some demon a thing, see someone moving between worlds, and grabs on for the ride.
You
Oh,
mean like some hell beastie rode in with Buffy?
sure.
We're responsible for this?
Assume crash positions.
Back to where we were at.
I knew it was gonna end badly. I should have said something.
What are we gonna do?
It's okay. We just killed the beastie and all is good.
That said, like, it looked like two different things. What Willow saw and what they saw.
Buffy!
So what are we killing? A demon you brought back from hell with you.
Well, we're speculating that.
Oh, It's not like she's making it sound.
You shouldn't worry about it.
I remember something last night.
Buff?
She forgot.
The photographs of us.
They had a bunch of
They
skulls.
changed. We were dead, like, dead bodies. But then they were okay. So I just, figured it was me. I was going crazy.
Well, maybe you are going crazy. From hell. No, you're fine.
You are. Buffy, we're so glad.
We shouldn't dismiss what she said.
Haunting things.
It could be connected.
We'll still have you back, which is so important.
Everyone is so weird around her.
We should get to work.
What's the list?
Possible hitchhikers.
Skagabore demons, Trailbane demons, skitterers.
Large and small bone eaters?
If we get to pick, I say we go with the small bone eaters.
Well, that just means they prefer to eat things with small bones, like you.
That's just what we have so far.
I mean, those are still pretty big bones. I mean, they might eat your hands or something like that, but just feed them like a chicken.
Maybe some of us can keep going, finding more, and the others.
I miss Giles.
He's coming back. I talked to him. Until then, we'll get it done.
I think I should patrol.
Okay.
Well, I know we'll find something soon.
Yeah.
Do you want us to go with you?
No. I need to go.
I think she specifically doesn't want to be around.
Go. I'll be safe here with the others. Don't worry about me.
Okay, sure. It's a creepy episode. Creepy antagonist here. Are we gonna run into Spike? Have a discussion about death and resurrection coming back around? He has maybe a little bit of experience with that.
Coffee. Hot chocolate for Dawn.
Never mind her. She's just Blair Witching on the corner.
All of you did it. You stupid children. Did you think the blood wouldn't reach you? Look at what you've done!
And now she's a dragon too. Well,
Oh my god.
she wanted to dispose of the books that had the actual relevant information.
That was it.
Is she okay?
Did I look like that?
Yes, actually.
No, I'm sure you look really glamorous cutting up your face.
What's happening?
You'll be okay.
I'm afraid Giles is gonna come back. He's going to be unaware and is gonna jump on him, and we're gonna have to kill him.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yes, but where did it go? I mean, evil things have plans. They have things to do.
Spike has to feel so conflicted. I briefly mentioned this like last episode. I'm like, I don't know how he's going to feel, and I don't think he knows either.
Buffy, you should be careful. You never know what kind of villain's got a knife at your back.
Your hand is hurt.
Same to you.
Right.
I am really enjoying this very different Buffy we're getting.
Hey, Willow's getting pretty strong, isn't she? It's hard to get a good night's death around her. You can sit down. You got furniture.
Hey.
You should see the downstairs too. It's quite posh.
Are we gonna be honest with one another? Have a serious discussion here.
I do remember what I said. The promise to protect her. If I'd have done that, even if I didn't make it, you wouldn't have had to jump.
Blames himself for it.
But I want you to know I did save you. Not when it counted, of course, but after that. Every night after that. I'd see it all again. I'd do something different.
Replaying it in his mind. Okay.
Dozens of times, lots of different ways. Every night I save you.
Okay.
Hey, Tara, this is probably crazy, but Spike got me to thinking. This spell we did, it's having consequences, isn't it? I mean, it sure seems like it. I was just wondering, did you know that this might happen?
No.
That's a lie.
Could someone have known?
Willow is a talented witch, and she would never do anything to hurt anyone.
I know, huh? Backing up quickly. I just meant that.
Tomogenesis. Tomogenesis. I think I figured it out. It's a demon that we made. Taumogenesis is when doing a spell actually creates a being.
Okay, that makes sense from the word.
Like a price.
Well, technically, that's not a price. That's a gift with purchase. But if we made the demon, how come we can't see it?
Well, I think it's out of phase with this dimension.
It doesn't have a body.
So we need to uncreate it, right?
Uh-huh, except that it's linked to the spell.
So
If we sent it away,
Buffy goes away.
it would be like the spell didn't exist.
Like it never brought Buffy back.
Yes.
You can't do that. If you think you can give her back to me and then take her away again, that's worse than if you never brought her back.
Dawn, we're not gonna do it that way.
How can you let her do this?
Honey, you weren't listening. She said we will find another way.
Everybody, hold on.
Why are you smiling? That's inappropriate.
Because it's temporary. The demon, it's gonna dissipate. The only way for it to survive on this plane is if it were to kill the subject of the original spell.
It would live if it killed Buffy?
Thanks for the tip.
Oh my god, we taught him. Well, thanks for the warning, idiot. Like, it literally told us what it's going to do now. It's gonna try to murder Buffy. It has to have like a weird, creepy face, despite it not having a body. It has to look like a weird, fucked up ghost, just so we know it's here.
You don't belong here.
You can't punch a ghost. It's a ghost. It doesn't have a physical body. But why was the ghost able to push her around? It's a ghost. It doesn't have a physical body. Okay, sorry.
Did they tell you you belonged here? Did they say this was your home again? Were you offered pretty lies, little girl? Or did they even give you a choice?
Xander, drive faster.
It's okay, Donnie. Willow and Tara are doing a spell. She can't fight this thing if it's all misty, so then make it more solid so Buffy can kick its fully embodied ass.
Sure, okay.
Child of words, hear thy makers. With our actions.
I like that Tara is getting more, I don't know, screen time, agency. Like, a bigger role this season, like immediately, than she ever has before. Oh, hey, Buffy had an expression.
You're the one who's barely here. Set on this earth like a bubble.
Child of words, we in tree.
Solid.
Okay. But hey, it has a body now, so why would it... Well, never mind. We killed it.
That's probably the sort of thing I'm not supposed to see, right?
It's fine. It's fine. Your sister is a zombie. You have to get used to this kind of shit at this point.
Dawn! What's wrong?
Lunch.
Okay, cool.
Oh, thanks.
You better go. You've been out of school since I got back.
Aw. Cool.
When you were gone, it was bad when you were gone. But it'll be better now that they can see you being happy. That's all they want.
I don't know how much of that we have left in us. It's the thing.
Buffy, hey.
Look, you guys, there's this thing, so I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
You brought me back. I was in hell.
Okay.
I can't think too much about what it was like, but it felt like the world abandoned me there. Thank you.
She said it.
You guys gave me the world. I can't tell you what it means to me. And I should have said it before.
Welcome home, Buffy.
Aw. Okay, now what? Spike.
Spike, it's daylight and you're...
No fire? Sun's low enough, it's shady enough here.
Yeah, I can see he's in the shadow.
just wanted a little time alone.
Oh, right then.
It's okay. I can be alone with you here.
Thanks ever so. Buff, are you okay?
I'm here. I'm good.
Buffy, if you're in pain, or if you need anything, or if I can do anything for you.
You can't.
Well, I haven't been to a hell dimension just of late, but I do know a thing or two about torment.
I was happy. Wherever I was happy. At peace. I knew that everyone I cared about was all right. I knew it. Time didn't mean anything. Nothing had form, but I was still me, you know? And I was warm. And I was loved. And I was finished. Complete. I don't understand theology or dimensions, any of it really. But I think I was in heaven. And now I'm not. I was torn out of there, pulled out by my friends. Everything here is hard.
Yeah.
And bright.
Mm-hmm.
And violent. Everything I feel, everything I touch. This is hell.
Sure.
Just getting through the next moment and the one after that, knowing what I've lost.
Okay. Now we know.
I can never know. Never.
Doesn't want to hurt them like that. Actively lie to them just to make them feel better, like they could move on. That's so interesting. I really like that. Alright, so episode 3. I would like to say that I really enjoyed that episode because it actually gave me what I was hoping to get previous episode. But previous episode was more of a continuation of the first one. This one is actually the actual display of the state that Buffy Summerson's in. Because I think that is what I was the most interested about jumping into this season. Is that I was thinking what happened with Buffy, and maybe not as specific answers, but like what is the result of what happened with Buffy? Just bringing her back to me is not that interesting, but if there's an extra level of like, okay, something is going on with her now this season. Like, what is going to be the thing that makes Buffy a character with some kind of different problems here? Because I can't imagine that you can like die for half a year and then come back to life and everything is the same. Like, I can't imagine that that's the case. So I'm thinking like, okay, then I want to see this new dynamic. And this was this episode. I really enjoyed this episode. And I think that I really enjoyed the character of Buffy in this episode, more so than every other version of Buffy we've had in the show so far. This version of Buffy was fascinating to me. She's not displaying many emotions or expressing like at all. And that's not to say that she's not feeling it, but on some level maybe she's not. And a lot of it you're wondering like why exactly that is. You're not exactly sure what is going on inside her head. But we learned some information that it allows us to kind of put some thoughts together as to why that might be. But this entire episode, like when she went back home with Dawn, and Dawn was like essentially touring her across the home, and Buffy was like, this is different, things are different, and she's not saying anything and she's just kind of walking. It was like fascinating to me because like she's not engaging with Dawn or whatever Dawn is saying or any like thoughts or feelings. She's just kind of moving. And I really like how Dawn had a moment where she was like, do you want to like stop? Like it was like, Buffy, hold on, like let's talk or something. Like, and Buffy's like, no, like I'm just gonna go to bed, you know? And it was fascinating for me. And like the first moment that like really clued me into, because I threw a couple of theories as to what Buffy's state might be or might have been in her death state, essentially, and then coming back. And the thing that really it really gave me a chill and it made me start like, okay, I really like this concept, is whenever Buffy asked Spike how long has it been, and Spike gave like an exact date. It was like 176 days or 77. This would be the 78, but I guess it doesn't count, something like that. And it's like, of course Spike would count every day individually, you know, that's how much he cares. We have to keep, like, he's very obsessive, we have to keep telling you that. And I like that Buffy will Spike asked her, how long has it been for you? And Buffy answered longer. I love that answer because it, like I mentioned it briefly, it made me think to this like Stephen King's short story called The Jaunt. If you know what it is, you know what it is. The brief version is that it's like a sci-fi short story where they explain to you that some guy created like a teleportation device, but during his experiments, he would like send rats from one place to the other, but the rats that would be awake would arrive and like shiver and then just die immediately, and the rats that would be sent like asleep would be completely fine. So the concept of this teleportation device that was created is like, if you go through it, your consciousness cannot sustain being in it, because essentially if you go through that teleportation device, your consciousness like extends to like an infinite level, and you cannot escape from that. It's like being completely aware or like awake in something that it just stretches and nothing is real anymore. And then you arrive at the other end, and for everyone else in the universe it was like instantaneous, but for you it was like an eternity, and then you immediately die because your body just the mental toll that it would take on your brain, as soon as it arrives on the other end, you just immediately die. And we see like a kid that goes through that teleportation device, and when it arrives on the other end, the entire family went to sleep, but the kid didn't fall asleep. The kid just was awake the entire journey, and then it goes crazy. It starts screaming like a goblin. It starts tearing his face off and people's eyes, and like it looks like a goblin. Like it is described how the physical like toll that it takes him instantly just transformed him in something like otherworldly. And I really love that. The concept of like something that is, and in that story we grab something that is sci-fi, but we're also something that I want to apply here, because we can't necessarily like grab something that is of the soul or something mystical or religious or like metaphysical and try to assign it any like rules of the reality that we live in. So we can't necessarily assign it any like rules about like time or space. Buffy died and her soul went somewhere. That was it. That's the short version of it. And that somewhere is not really a where, or it's not really a when. It's just some place that is impossible to quantify in any measurements that we have in our world. That is something that I'm always immediately thinking about. And I do want to say that Buffy mentioned that she went to heaven, or like she thought she went to heaven, something like that. That is what she's grasping onto as like a point of reference, and that is the closest thing we got. And she could be just holding on to like Christianity or something like that, because that is what is an immediate context that she can grasp on of what is heaven or what is hell. But she went to some degree of afterlife, and it was a place where she was content. She was at peace. She was happy. She knew that everybody was okay, and it was warm, and it was nice, and it was over, and that was it, and that was just nice. That was it. And then she finds herself here, back on the real world, back on Earth, and everything is difficult. Everything is a struggle. There is fighting, there's violence, there's any sort of issues, and we just kind of have to deal with that. Nothing is simple anymore. Everything is difficult, and I have to do it all over again. And if it was just half a year, sure, but I love Buffy's response of it being longer, because maybe it was longer, maybe it wasn't, or maybe it doesn't matter what it was, because there's no possible way in which we can measure one versus the other. We don't know what the fuck her experience was like, and she's having a hard time describing it, because you can't describe something that is not out of our reality. It's just a different metaphysical context. It's just whatever. She was there, and to at least what we can say is that to her, it felt longer. And then that is the only point of comparison that we have, is that to her it was longer. And that could have been a year, that could have been a millennia. Whatever amount of time or like whatever experience that she experienced was something that was so vast compared to what we went through, our reality, that in my head, and I would kind of mention it briefly, is that like whether she went to hell or to limbo or wherever, any kind of degree of afterlife that she was at, it almost doesn't fucking matter. I mean, it does matter because what she says at the end, but it almost doesn't matter because imagine if you went to limbo or whatever for like 1,000 years and then you come back and everyone is like, oh my God, it's so good to see you again. We miss you so much. You've been gone for like 2 months. 1,000 years is a long time, right? Like that measurement of time. I don't know exactly what it was for Buffy Summers, but we have to assume, we have to imagine that if it was at a degree of time similar to that, she would come back and she would be exactly in the state that she was at the previous episode and then this episode, which is she's just kind of walking, not really emoting. She's grabbing things. She's looking at things. If you talk to her, she'll reply to you, but she's going to feel very off. Because she's not going to be like, oh my God, thank you so much, you guys, for doing that for me. She's just going to be like, no, yeah, hi, what's up? Okay, cool. I'm just going to go to bed. Like, it's just going to be like that. Because what Buffy is experiencing is her entire reality was shifted and it became something completely different. Because she was fucking dead. And we don't know for how long, if we can measure length, that was. But let's say that if she was gone for 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 years, and then she was just jammed back here, then she comes back, how is she supposed to react? How is she supposed to act? How is she supposed to live now? She's just essentially readapting to what it means to be human after having completely abandoned what it is to be human. And like, it's not that she doesn't care about her friends or the people near her or Dawn and stuff. In fact, Dawn is what kind of ground her back to Earth previous episode. So that is something that is actually all the more powerful, is that we can say that Buffy's love for Dawn is something that transcended her entire experience for a millennia or whatever, where she was at. And it's something that grounded her back to what her old life used to be. But her new existence is something that is so vastly different from what she used to be. Like, and that is what I'm thinking here, is that like, I hope, and I'm expecting almost, that Buffy Summers is not going to be the same Buffy Summers we had before. And that's fascinating to say, because season 5 Buffy was already very different from any other season Buffy, right? Like Buffy Summers in seasons 1 to 4 was a vastly different character from season 5. And I am looking at Buffy for season 6, and I am thinking that she's going to be extremely different here and maybe moving forward, like all the way to season 7. And the reason why I'm thinking that is because it should be the case. It should be. If you died and went to the afterlife for like 100 years, and I keep throwing random numbers because the truth is that it doesn't matter what number I say, 100, 1,000, 1,000,000. What you need to understand is that Buffy's experience of it is something that was such, her perception of it was so vast that it really doesn't matter what the actual amount of time was, because the amount of time, actually there's no time. That is the actual answer. But if you, just for a random point of measure, if you went to a different world for 100 years and it was a world where there was no world, there was no mass, there was no time, it was just a feeling of warmth, of happiness, of content, of completion, and just a tinge of self that will still remain. Just enough for you to understand that you are, but not enough for you to like actually have any like defining characteristic. It's just like, I am this feeling, and that is okay. If that was your life for like 100 years, and then you are just thrown back into Earth, and it's like, yeah, you have to make lunch for your sister, she's going to school tomorrow, or whatever, right? Or like, you have to like punch this guy, he's threatening your friends, and it's like, what? Like that was over. And this is the thing that I really like. And I have the episode pulled here. Buffy said, nothing had form, but I was still me, you know? She says, I was warm, I was loved, and I was finished, complete. I love that for a variety of reasons, but I love that I love that everything here that is being said is like almost like antithetical to what season 5 told us. Because season 5 was about understanding that the world like is about struggle. Life is about struggle, and it's really difficult and it's really painful, and you just kind of have to deal with it. But you can deal with it if you have people around you that can help you out. If you got your friends and your family and your loved ones, they can be there for you and you can be there for them, and that can make it a lot easier. And that's how you get through life, by the connections that you form. It was a very wholesome message. It was something I really loved, but it was an understanding, an acceptance that to live is to suffer. That is the thesis being presented to me by season 5 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer as something that was discussed in the 9 hours long video that I made. But that is the final like understanding that Buffy has of her life as she accepts her own death. And there is a beauty on that. There's a level of beauty on that. And it's so fascinating that season 6 starts and is essentially going the other direction. I mean, it is doubling down on that thesis, but it is also going on the direction of like, and now I have to do it all over again. It's like the teaching of season 5 was that life is a struggle and it hurts, but Buffy was happy with letting it go because it was for a greater good. It's because it was to save her loved ones, and she was completely okay with that. There is a sadness of like, you know, Buffy dies at like age 20 or whatever, she's very young, but it is also something that like it feels complete, it feels nice because it is her choice to do that. It is a sacrifice that she's making, and she's not doing it lightly. She's doing it to ensure that Dawn is happy. She gets to live a life that maybe Buffy doesn't get to live because she dies young, so Dawn gets to live a happy life. Her friends get to live happily, you know, like Willow and Tara get to be a couple and be happy together. Xander and Annie get to be happy together, you know, like all of these characters get to have some kind of continuation and a life that can be fulfilling because of Buffy's actions. Not just her, the entire world. And it is a conscious choice that she makes, and she's fine with it. She's completely okay with it. And there is a beauty on that, of choosing that this is an active choice that I make, and it is beautiful that this is a person that can exist and can choose to do something like that. And then Willow decided to essentially stomp all over that a little bit, because she disturbs that completion, that peace that Buffy chose to. Like, Buffy chose to have that ending, and then Willow took that ending away from her, and it's like, no, you're gonna be here again, and you're gonna have to deal with all of these bullshit again. And that's not nice. It really isn't. Because again, to live is to suffer, and Buffy now has to suffer again. She compared Earth to hell, and it might be hell. Like, there was a guy, an angel, that told us that the Earth was hell, and I'm inclined to believe that. Because like hell, I'm not gonna follow this like a specific like Christian definitions of heaven and hell. It's just like its own like mythology that we're tackling onto the show. And Buffy's looking at Earth, and it's like there's so much like suffering and conflict and just worry and like pain that I have to go through now that I am here. And it's something that is very conflicting, because she was already at the end. She had already suffered through everything, and she had just decided to accept it and just return back to the loving embrace of the primordial soup or whatever. She's completely fine with letting go of her life and just saying, I did everything I could and it was okay. And I am happy now just letting it all out, letting it all go. And I'm just happy just letting it all go now. I am content, that's fine. And now she doesn't get to do that anymore. It's like her choice was reversed. It was like Willow went directly against what Buffy chose to do. And I'm not saying that Buffy's mean or bad for doing that. I think that Willow is flawed for other reasons, and I actually really like some stuff I want to say about Willow later. But it's something that's fascinating because, again, season 6 is going in this direction of like, it's almost like season 6 is telling you like it was better if the show had just ended in season 5. And that's the other reason why I really like what Buffy says here, is that she says, I was warm and I was loved and I was finished, complete. When I heard her say that, I was thinking to myself, like, that almost feels like it almost feels like looking at me directly, the viewer, through the lens of the show, and saying like, the show was supposed to end in season 5, you know? Like, we made another seasons because we realized we were making so much fucking money, but like, really, the show was ending in season 5. That was like an ending, that was the perfect ending, and this is Buffy realizing like, why am I not done? Like, it was good. That was the ending. Why am I still here? Because we're making too much money. But yeah, that is almost the vibe I get. And I'm not saying that that's like exactly what they're doing, but that is the impression I get when I heard Buffy say that. It almost makes sense on like a meta level of like, yeah, why are we still here? Just to suffer. It's just like, it was done. It was fine. I was happy. So why are we still going? I love that so much. I think this is maybe the best possible thing they could have done with Buffy here. You know, this resurrection arc. I think the best thing they could have done is this. Is Buffy saying, I was done and I was okay with that. I was happy that way. Why am I here again? It's so good. It creates so much conflict in like a very fascinating way. I really love that. And just for clarification, because I know it's gonna be misunderstood, when I do say that it's almost as if the show is making commentary on the show itself, it's still going. I'm not saying that it's what it's doing. I think that maybe it is doing that on some small level, but it is not saying like, come on guys, the show is supposed to be over, why are we still here? It's definitely not saying that, but it almost feels like, and I think it is, the idea that season 5 was at some point meant to be the ending, and then they kept going. And then they were like, well, what story do we tell after the show was meant to be over? And it was such a definitive ending of the main character sacrificing themselves, and it's like, you know, they have a full understanding of the world, what is life, and they impart those lessons at the end, and they make this noble sacrifice, and it's something that they choose to do, and it's so perfectly complete. It like perfectly wraps up. And then they come back and they have to keep going. And it's like, what? Like, and it's so perfect to me that way. I love that so much. So that is the point that Buffy is at now. And I think that is like the most genius way you could have done this, right? This like resurrection storyline, I think this is the most interesting way of doing it. If it had been something similar to like Angel when he went to hell and then came back and he was like cowering and shit, like that's not as interesting to me. It's still somewhat interesting because it's the main character rather than just a side character, but this is way more interesting to me. Another conflict that arises as a result of that is that she is lying to her friends. And I love that. I love that Buffy is just lying to everybody other than Spike. Buffy essentially went to them and then she was like, you know, guys, like I was in hell and it was difficult. I don't want to think about it. But thank you so much for doing what you did for me. You gave me the world back. And it felt very sincere and genuine. And then she walks out the door and she immediately goes like, I didn't mean that. Like, that's not true. Like, I was actually happy with being gone, but I can't do that to them. Because she cares about her friends. She cares about these people. And she's understanding that they were not able to move on past her death. And she doesn't have the heart to tell them that actually I was just happy being gone. Because then it becomes a heartbreak of like, you guys rip the ending of my journey, my completion of what is my closure almost. Like, you guys ripped that away from me and you forced me to come back here and keep fighting demons or whatever. And it's like, but like I was happy to just rest. I was happy to just fucking be done with all of this. And now I have to keep doing it. And it's like, that is a selfish choice on their end. Namely, Willow. And this is something that I really like about what we're doing with Willow here, is that I have said before that Willow is the character that I look at and I'm like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? And I think that comes from an angle where Willow, I've said this before also, that I think Willow is that kind of character, that kind of person that like, she was very shy and she was very meek and she didn't get to do a lot of things when she was younger because she was very anxious and she was very scared and she didn't want to let anybody down and she felt like she wasn't good enough. Now she's coming out of her shell and she's exploring all of these things in a way that she doesn't necessarily fully have the lesson of consequences under her anymore. In a way that she doesn't fully have the lesson of consequences on her, because she didn't really have the childhood experience of like, I'm gonna do something and then it goes bad or someone gets hurt or you get hurt and then you go like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, I'm not gonna do that anymore. Willow didn't really have those experiences. So Willow is someone that is for the first time attempting to do a bunch of shit without any of the like limiters, because now she's like a powerful witch in her like young adulthood. So it's not just like, you know, I'm gonna do a dumb prank. It's like, no, I'm gonna resurrect the dead. And she doesn't have those experiences of like, oh, it went wrong, oh, I'm not gonna do it anymore. So she's just doesn't have it she doesn't have the thing that pushes her back, that dissuades her from doing so. She doesn't have that voice in her head. So she's just like, I'm gonna do it. This is gonna go great, and I know it's gonna go great. Not only that, I love, and the more we go from it, the more I love it. That in the first episode of this season, Xander was like, Willow, what if it goes wrong? Like, and Willow was like, it won't go wrong. Girl, that's not what we're asking. You're completely refusing the hypothetical. But more than that, Xander is like, why do you want to do this? And why do we want to disturb Buffy? And like Willow was saying, like, you know, her body like fell, but her soul went somewhere else. And it's like, but where is she? Like, why if she's trapped in some like weird hell dimension? Like, what is she trapped there? And she's been trapped there for God knows how long. Like, she needs me to save her. Like, I have to save my best friend. And I heard that and I was like, that is a noble goal. And like, that's so nice of you, but at the same time, that's fucking bullshit. Because you have no way of knowing that that's true. You are making assumptions. And really, this is not about saving Buffy. This is about you not being able to move on from Buffy's death. This is about Willow not being able to like have that step where she's finally accepted it. And watching previous episode, it stood out to me that previous episode, there was a moment where like Xander is talking to Willow after the ritual had failed, and Willow is regaining consciousness, and Willow is remembering that like the urn got broken and stuff, and she was like, no, it failed, we can't do it again, there's only one. And then she's like, oh my god, she's gone, she's really gone. It felt like to me like that was the first time that Willow accepted Buffy's death, which is ironic because it's after Buffy came back to life. But it felt like in the 6 months after her death, Willow didn't accept it. Willow wasn't able to move on. Willow was someone that was like, I'm gonna find a way to bring her back. Like, she's at her grave going like, I'm gonna save you. And then she spent the next 6 months of her life trying to find some weird necromantic way in order to make it happen. And she did. But that is fueled by Willow just not having the, I want to say, almost emotional maturity in order to be able to deal with the loss, to cope. So she didn't, and she turned to necromancy in order to be like, no, this is my mission, I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna go great, and I'm gonna save her. She needs my help, and I'm gonna go help. And it's like, girl, she's trying to fool herself. She's lying to herself. The real reason why she's doing any of this is because she wasn't able to move on from the loss. And that is, I actually really like that. That is like a level of like character flaw that I'm a big fan of. And it also makes such perfect sense for the character of Willow that we have. Like, straight up. Like, and this makes me like Willow more. Because, like she made arguably the worst mistake she could have possibly done. Because, like, Buffy being back is horrifying, by the way. I just want to make it very clear here, is that based on what Buffy says, no, this is horrifying. Like, if the show had ended in season 5, if I had stopped watching the show, and I've heard, like, in the Buffy cast, I acknowledge somebody told me, like, somebody left me a comment that was like, you know, I almost just see season 5 as the actual ending, and that's it. Like, this feels like a place where I want to stop, and that's it. I completely understand that. I get that, and I almost agree, because I'm looking at this show, what it's doing now, and it feels almost counterproductive to what season 5 was doing. Season 5 was about like this is almost the meaning of life, and this is the ending of the journey, and this is closure, and this is acceptance, and now we get a perfect ending. And then season 6, like what we're doing with Buffy coming back, it's almost like we are disrupting everything that was taught to us. This shouldn't be. That's how I feel about this. And again, I want to make myself clear, because I know there's always going to be one or two people that are going to misunderstand what I'm saying. I am actually really enjoying this. I am really enjoying what we're doing here with season 6. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to watch it, but I am saying that from like a level of like, fundamentally, I would never agree with any of the choices that anybody made here in season 6 thus far. Like, everything that Willow was doing, I'm like, for the same reasons that they turn out to be revealed here, I would be like, don't disturb the dead. You don't want to disturb the dead because they're fucking dead. Like, come on, man. Like, leave him rest in peace. Like, that's the saying. That's what it means. But Willow's inability to move on is what actually drags Buffy back. And that is a horrifying thing, because Buffy didn't need saving. Willow can tell herself that all she wants, but that's not the truth. The truth is that Buffy was happy and gone. Why are you fuckers still messing with this? Why are you still messing with Buffy? It's just like, dude, just accept it. She's gone. And that's okay. People die all the time, but we couldn't let go. And now Buffy has to continue suffering because of it. Like fucking Sisyphus, she's now forced to roll that boulder up again, up the hill that is life, and then deal with the issues of everyday life. Arguably more issues than before, because before the last time we were here in the real world, Joyce died and Buffy didn't know what to do, and I don't know, we had to deal with like social services and shit. Dawn's upbringing, adolescence, high school stuff, like everything that is going on then, everything that was going on at the end of season 5 is something that almost didn't get much resolution because we immediately went into this finale and we fought God and died. But now that we have gone back, now Buffy has to deal with like a job or something, and that's like, dude, I went to heaven or whatever. Like, you brought me back to get a job? Like, Willow, girl, what are we doing here? I was gone. Why is this the thing that I'm forced to do now? So that is literally horrifying. That is like the worst thing ever. Like, and that is something that to me is fascinating and I'm really enjoying here in season 6. Like, actually, I think season 6 might have the best start to a season yet. Because of this episode almost exclusively. Like, I'm thinking of other seasons in the past. I don't remember how season 3 started. When did we meet Faith? I think it was actually like episode 3. But season 6 here, like this setup of Buffy was dead and we disturb her and now she's forced to come back and like she doesn't get a say in that. We actually undid her sacrifice. We undid her final lesson. We undid the conclusion to her journey. Now she's forced here to be fucking puppeted around to go and slay demons or whatever. It's like, there's like a level where we can like extrapolate that and make it about the show itself. It's like, you know, Buffy season 5 was the end, and then we were like, damn, we were making so much money, we have to keep going. And it's like, okay, time to fucking disturb Buffy from the dead, I guess. Like, and Buffy's like, why am I here? And it's like, yeah, exactly. Like, why? It's like almost like because the god of this world, Mr. Whedon, it was like, we need to keep going. That's almost what it feels like. I love that there's like a level of flaw in these characters now, in Willow most of all. And I love that Buffy here is also lying to them because she doesn't want to tell them. She's hiding the truth from them because she doesn't want to hurt them in that way. But at the same time, that is creating a divide between her and her own friends. And that is a divide that is always going to be there now. A divide of like, I was at peace and they literally just brought me back just to keep suffering. And it's like, it wasn't their fault. They didn't know what they were doing. They miss me, which is like kind of endearing. But at the same time, guys, I was done. I'm tired. Why am I here again? I really like that at the end we get to have Buffy give Dawn lunch, and Dawn is going to school, and it's like, you know, like, it was bad when you were not here, everybody miss you, and you know, as long as everybody gets to just see you smile again, like, it's gonna be fine. That's all that everybody needed, just to see you smile again. And I'm looking at Buffy and I'm like, I don't think Buffy's gonna be smiling much, because Buffy's like almost no longer human. Like, because like, again, all of the shit that mattered to us when we were alive previous season, that's gone. That's like a different life. Buffy died and lived in another metaphysical realm where life wasn't even a concept for God knows how much her perception of time was. And then she comes back and it's like, what? And that is why I love the level of confusion that she's in. Because she's like wandering around and she's seeing things, she's recognizing things. It's not like she's not recognizing them, but it's almost like rediscovering reality. And it's just like, I guess I'm walking. I guess this is a house. I guess this is my sister. And it's like, yeah, these things I know and are real and I recognize them, but like, why though? Like, literally, why? Why am I here? Why am I experiencing these things? I was done. So like, I'm looking at Buffy and I'm like, I don't think she's going to be doing much smiling because there's so many reasons to smile. And this is, okay, now we're gonna go into another realm of discussion here, which is something that I was already thinking about a couple hours ago. Because yeah, surprise, it's been a couple hours since I watched the episode and I'm recording this because it was raining, so I had to stop and now I'm coming back. But it's something that I was thinking, and this is my prediction for what the journey of the show, maybe this season, maybe season 7 is gonna be about. Maybe, potentially. And it's that maybe what Buffy's gonna have to do now is that she's gonna have to almost rediscover the experience of living, but not just the suffering of it, because that is almost implied, like immediately noticeable, but the joy of it. And I think that is actually a beautiful way to wrap it up, if we can go down that direction, either in season 6 or 7. But I think Buffy's gonna be almost an alien, a stranger now. But it would actually be kind of endearing and really compelling to me to see her slowly rediscover what it's like to just like hang out with your friends, you know, and laugh at somebody's jokes, kind of stuff like that. Because I think Buffy, in the state that she's in right now, everything what life is right now feels like pain and suffering, because it almost is. But the thing is that you would not have cared so much about this world in order to literally sacrifice yourself for it, to save your friends and family, if you didn't experience joy when you were around them. And that might be the thing that we have to rediscover. Because I think that Buffy right now is looking at Dawn and looking at her friends, and it's like, I don't really feel any sort of way about them. Because like, I've been gone for so long, like this doesn't feel like home anymore. This doesn't feel like my friends anymore. I know that they are, but it doesn't feel that way anymore. Because again, I was fucking dead. Like, I went to the afterlife. Like, the moment that you go to the afterlife, me personally speaking, like, my opinion is that whenever somebody goes to the afterlife, I think that everything that the world is now is secondary. I think that everything that of this experience of the real world is now completely lessened by the absolute like completion that is just going to a different plane and just being done. So now that Buffy's coming back and she has been through that, I think that is the way that she's experiencing the world, and she's experiencing her friends and families. Now she feels like an alien, like a stranger, and they are strangers to her. And it's not that she doesn't care, but it's more so that she doesn't have that feeling in her anymore. They are not part of her life anymore, because her life for the past, 7,000 million years, which I guess would be 7 billion, sorry. For the last 4.5 billion years, she's just been in a state of experiencing completion and nothing else. And now she's here and it's like, what? People? What? Like, things happening? A motorcycle gang member? What? Like again, it's not a part of her life anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. But maybe what the journey we're going to have to go through is rediscovering the joy of life. Rather than just accepting the suffering, rediscovering the joy. Hanging out with friends, you know, going to the club together again like we used to do. Sharing a drink, a meal, having pizza, like Sanders said. Making jokes and laughing at them. That kind of stuff, you know? We could go bowling. I don't know what the fuck teenagers were doing in the year 2001. I mean, a lot of things were happening in the year 2001, so I can imagine certain things that they could maybe have been doing. Dude, I mean, okay, now Buffy the Vampire Slayer now has become a very inaccurate show representation of reality, because she should be a bunch of people just screaming about 9/11 like night and day now. Right now, this is what the show should be at this current point in time, because if, to my understanding, this is like airing 1 month after 9/11. And with the historical context that I have, the US went kind of crazy for the next 24 years to come and counting because of that. But yeah, I think Buffy's gonna have to find out what life was again. She's forgotten what it was, maybe, but that doesn't mean that she cannot enjoy it anymore. She might enjoy it again, but it's gonna be a slow, difficult process of, you know, having to deal with a lot of the hardship that life brings for you, but also just accepting that, like, the hardship is worth it because we have these moments where we actually get to be together, you know? If my friends didn't care, they wouldn't have gone through the effort of bringing me back. And I do think that it sucks that I am back. It actually fucking sucks, but maybe one night we're gonna be all together in a table, sharing a pizza, making jokes. Somebody's gonna tell a funny story, and I'm gonna laugh, and I'm gonna have a moment of thinking, hey, this is nice. And I think that maybe that's going to be the end goal for Buffy now that she's alive again. I think that would be cool. I think that would be a compelling story to tell. The story of someone who died now is coming back, and she's coming back wrong. And she's just weird because, you know, she's experiencing completion, and now she's back and she's like, what the fuck am I doing here anymore? Everything is different. I don't feel anything anymore. Maybe she can learn to feel again, because she can learn to rediscover what it's like to actually experience the joy that she once felt that made her care so much. Because life is suffering, but it is not only suffering. It is also all of the nice things, all of the joy, all of the friends and the nice experiences that you have, you know? Yeah, that would be cool. I would like that. That was my mantra of life, I guess. Back to talking about this TV show. I don't know what else to say though. I mean, there was this like demon possessing people here. This like ghost, this like banshee looking thing. I mean, didn't really matter, honestly. There was a moment where Buffy saw a bunch of death in pictures. I don't know if that was the banshee or if that was Buffy just seeing death everywhere. I don't think so, because I think that was the banshee. It would make more sense if she was like in hell, so she's used to just seeing death everywhere. But now she revealed that she wasn't. She revealed that she was actually in a much nicer place where she felt at ease. And if that's the case, then I don't know why she would have seen that other than the banshee just fucking with them. And she did tell them that, like, you know, I saw these things. So she's actually being helpful. I do want to say that, like, it's so, you know, poor Dawn, because Dawn in this episode is trying so hard to, you know, help Buffy out. But everyone else, you know, Sander and Willow and Tara and Anya, they're all, like, worried. Because they're like, she came back wrong. Buffy came back wrong, which she did. And they are thinking to themselves, like, you know, they almost want to be respectful towards her, but they almost don't want to let her in. There was this moment where they were all discussing this demon that came through, and Buffy wasn't present in the reunion. And then she shows up with like a cup of coffee or whatever, and she's just standing there, and they go like, oh, Buffy, we didn't know you would be awake. You should be back. You should be asleep. And it's this thing of like, they're like politely kicking her out is what they're doing. And like, they politely didn't invite her either. They're discussing all these things that are very relevant to Buffy, and they're like not including her because they see Buffy as an outsider almost, because they are not fully sure of what Buffy's current state is. They were eager, but now they're second guessing themselves and what they did. And that is something that is kind of sad, because like, they disturb her like peaceful ending in order to bring her back, and they immediately all just kind of back off and go like, whoa, okay, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Oh no, what did we do? Fuck. And it's like, well, now you have to fucking deal with her, dude. You did this. Now make sure that she at least gets the happiest possible life she can have now, because dude, what you did was fucked up. But the thing is that Buffy doesn't want to tell them that. Buffy doesn't want to let them know. She's just like, you know, you guys did something awesome. Thank you so much. You saved me. You gave me back the world. And it's like, that's all lies. Oh, man. Sorry, I'm just kind of repeating myself now. I don't know what else to say about this episode. I feel like I already covered like all of the fascinating things that I really like. I think I can talk a little bit about Spike here. Because I think Spike was super cool in this episode too. Spike... immediately he was able to identify that Buffy punched her way out of her coffin. He was like, you know, like, yeah, I've done that before, you know, like this is an experience that I know what it is. And then he wanted to know what her on death was like, and asking all these questions that were really cool. But then he also had this thing where like he's having a very hard time figuring out the way that he feels like about Buffy coming back. He like confronts Sander and Anya when they leave, but then he's also like not sure what to do himself when he's alone, because like the truth is that, and I love that previous episode I was like, I don't know what way Spike is gonna feel like about this, and that is exactly the way Spike feels like in this episode. He doesn't know what way to feel, because on one end he's looking at Buffy and she's back. It's like, oh my god, Buffy's back. Of course, this like massive crush that he had is reawakening, because he truly like did love her in like his own like twisted obsessive way. But that's it's not that isn't real. It is very much real, in fact. But at the same time, he also understands that like there is zero chance that this is just Buffy. that this is just normal Buffy. There is zero shot of that. He's thinking like any million possible different ways that this Buffy is just weird or wrong in some way, and it eventually gets confirmed to us in which way, which is I had my resolution to life and I went to heaven and now I'm back and I don't want to do this anymore. It fucking sucks. And Spike is actually very cool about everything here, and I love the relationship that Buffy and Spike seem to have now, because Buffy went to see Spike, actually. Buffy went to visit Spike. We don't get a reason as to why. I think she just went there. And that was actually kind of cool to me, because anything that we might have experienced, any rocky patches in the relationship between these two characters, any weird shit that might have happened, almost doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't. You know, we know Spike is cool. We know he did everything he could, and we know he regrets everything like he couldn't do and accomplish. Like, we see it. He became like Dawn's like nanny, because he's still living for Buffy even though after Buffy's dead, because he wasn't able to move on from that in that way, and he's still just kind of trying his best. That was like his final promise he made to her, and he's gonna make damn sure he makes it, and that's like the thing. And for Buffy, like, dude, she was fucking dead. Like, it doesn't fucking matter if this guy is stealing your panties or whatever. Like, whatever creepy bullshit Spike was up to in life, it almost doesn't matter. Dude, she was dead. Like, life stopped mattering like a couple like months / centuries ago. It's done. So why would Buffy give a shit anymore? Why would Buffy ever just look at Spike and be like, oh, you're so gross, fuck you, Spike? Now it's just like, yeah, that's just Spike. Hi, what's up? That's it. It's just like a dude that I know. The same goes for everyone else. So I do like this relationship that they both have now. Like, there's like a deeper layer of understanding in virtue of both of them being like a version of undead, I guess. Spike is literally an undead because he's a vampire, but Buffy's an undead in the sense that she died and now she's back. But she's back in an alive sense, but she did die. So there is like a level of connection and understanding that is forming between the two that is transcending any like real thing that happens in the real world. It's just like metaphysically we're both just sitting like yeah, life kind of sucks. And it's just like, yeah, that's something I really enjoy. So I think Spike, there's a lot of potential for Spike as a character this season now. I think a final thing I want to say here, that I already said, but I want to reinstate, is that I am really enjoying this version of Buffy Summers. It's only been one episode, but I am really enjoying this version of Buffy Summers. I hope that she's just like this for the rest of the show. At least the rest of the season. And maybe she gradually starts to learn about the joys of life again, of friendship and things like that. Maybe she can get that slowly and regain her life once more. But I really like this version of Buffy. It's such a like fucked up version of Buffy. I really like it. I really do. It creates such good conflict, but it's also just like, this is gonna sound weird to say. It is a version of Buffy that I relate to more than before. I relate to Buffy Summers now that she is dead more than I did before when she was alive. Because a lot of the like struggles that she was experiencing in life were struggles that I couldn't empathize with like at all. I could understand them, but I didn't fully like empathize with them because I didn't have those experiences. And I didn't have the experience of dying and coming back to life, by the way. I just want to make that clear. I'm not Jesus Christ. But like the idea of just like feeling alien in a world that, and like the world is like demanding something out of you and you just don't have it in you anymore because like you're done with this. Like, this is not your world anymore. You just kind of moved on, but now you're forced to be back in it. And it's like, what? Like, this is not me. This is not for me. Like, I'm past this. But the world is dragging you back and it's just like, what? And I do feel that way sometimes in my day-to-day life. I do feel that way. So I really like Buffy here. This version of Buffy, I really enjoy. And I really enjoy the fucked up conflict because I think this is like the most fucked up thing that could have happened, by the way. I need to keep reiterating that. Buffy being at peace and then being dragged back because her dumbass friends were not able to cope with the loss. So they resorted to fucking necromantic rituals. Fuck those people, dude. Like if I was Buffy Summers, if I died in a manner where I was happy and content and I was done, and I was like, thank God I get to fucking sleep and rest for a bit. I get to feel happy and complete, and then I'm being dragged back and it's like, dude, you gotta go fucking stab that man. That man is trying to get me, and I'm like, fucking what? I just woke up, dude, leave me alone. Like I like imagine you're waking up from the best dream you ever have, and you know I guess that is like a relatable thing that we can all relate to on some level. It's like, imagine you're having the best dream you've ever had, and then somebody just wakes you up and it's just, you gotta go to work. It's like, what? No. What are you? No. Like, I was happy. Everything was fine. And it's because you dumb motherfucker was not able to cope with that, with the fact that I wasn't here anymore. And that's a you problem, not a Buffy problem. Buffy was fine. But okay, here we are now. And that is like horrifying. It's horrifying that she's forced to go through this again. It makes so much sense to me. That's like, you can ask somebody how they feel about season 6, and it's like, you know, like if you want to stop watching the show in season 5, it's completely fine, because absolutely, that's the end of Buffy's like hero journey. It's perfect. And season 6 is starting to feel like, what are we doing here anymore? It's just like we're disrupting the natural order of things. Not just of life and death, but of like completion. She was done. Why are we still here? I will say that I hope the show tells some fascinating stories utilizing that. Because if the show just goes back to like episodic dumb bullshit, I mean, it probably will on a minor level. But if a lot of the season becomes a bunch of like episodic stuff that doesn't really amount to much, I'm gonna really feel bad for Buffy here, because it's like, dude, I was in heaven, you brought me back for this shit? Like, what? Oh my god. So yeah, and I do hope the show is gonna do some really fun stuff with these concepts, because I think they're fascinating concepts. I really like them, and I await further exploration of them eagerly. All right, I think that's gonna be it for this discussion. It was longer than the previous one. All right, thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. See you guys next time. Bye bye. But if you would like to watch the next 2 episode reactions to Buffy, as well as Angel watch-alongs, full-length reactions, and all sorts of cool stuff that I do, check out the Patreon, link in the description below, pop up on the screen, other links. See you guys next time. Bye bye. Take care.